Have you ever seen how some people try to control circumstances and end up getting caught up in their own plans? This pattern is as old as time itself. The painful realization that their behavior comes back to haunt them is often faced by those who think they have control over timeframes, emotions, and intentions. While manipulation can result in short-term gains, it often leads to failure, exposure, and regret. In relationships, especially those based on self-interest, there is often a hidden agenda. They are based on a relentless pursuit of control rather than respect or genuine concern for each other. Some people see relationships as a way of taking advantage of others for their own benefit rather than creating something meaningful. They use deceptive tactics to gain attention, approval, and control of the story. But they ignore the fact that manipulation is a game that ultimately betrays the participant. Write amen in the comments to ask for divine help. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and forward this message to all your friends whom you want to be in God's presence and under the protection of angels. Every deliberate action, every win, and every effort to betray trust leaves a mark. Focusing on their immediate reward, they ignore the idea that actions have repercussions. No matter how deeply buried, the truth eventually comes to light. Today we explore what happens when attempts at control backfire and the people trying to exert control lose everything. It's a reminder that honesty and sincerity will always win in the end, no matter how strong the facade may seem. Can you feel the spark? Let's ignite it. Sign up today to join the adventure. For they have sown wind and they will reap a whirlwind. Hosea 8:7. When individuals sow seeds of manipulation in the hope of controlling the harvest, a storm breaks. However, just as the wind cannot be stopped, their plans will not last forever. To take ownership of this message and the benefits it brings, type 1111 and consider writing a kind comment to brighten someone else's day, spreading kindness and happiness in your community. Now is not the time for the chosen ones to falter. It is an opportunity to ascend, to see the patterns for what they are, and to regain the inner strength that has always been there. Isn't it a familiar situation? The moment you start moving like clockwork, feeling the pull of destiny and stepping into your mission, they reappear. Their presence stops your progress not by accident, but on purpose. They are affected not because they are happy with your progress, but because they are afraid of what it means for them. When the sun starts to shine, these people are always there like shadows. They try to dull your brightness through subtle and strategic maneuvers to maintain their power. You were never on an equal footing. You were only their safety net in times of crisis. Their compassion was a front for their hunger for power, and their promises were unfulfilled. Instead of protecting your heart, they probed it to exploit its weaknesses. It's like being caught in a spider's web, sticky enough to keep you exactly where they want you, yet delicate enough to break free. Their goal was your obedience, not your independence. Whenever you accelerated, they managed to slow you down. Whenever you started to break through the space they held you in, they brought up all your doubts, fears, and insecurities. Using your weaknesses as tools, they made sure that you never felt strong enough to really break away. Let me tell you something though. You were not created by God to be someone's backup plan. He did not create you as a springboard for someone else's comfort. You were created with freedom, purpose, and a life that reflects His glory in mind. In trying to bind you and keep you under their authority, they have underestimated the might of the one who controls your destiny. The labyrinth they created around you served as your court rather than your prison. Every time they tried to tear you to shreds, they only polished you. The all-seeing Creator took back every tear they shed and every ounce of energy they wasted. Even though you may have felt stuck, you were never alone. God was in the background preparing the ground for your breakthrough. To fully embrace your potential, type TweetHouse222 in the comments section and subscribe. The moment has come for you to assume your power. See the trends and accept the manipulation for what it is, an enemy strategy to distract you from your purpose. They did not take into account the power that was being built within you, but assumed that you would always be there waiting. They failed to see that your soul is changing. No one can trust you. You have been chosen. You are destined for something more. They may have tried to keep you small, but the truth is that they cannot contain what God has anointed. The moment you face your true self, their strategy becomes ineffective. Let their actions be the whirlwind they create, not because we want to hurt them, for justice is part of the divine order. Let this season be your hymn of salvation. Move boldly towards the light, out of the mirrors and out of the net. No one can take away what God has given you. In truth, they have never hidden their actions from a higher power. Every deliberate action and every effort to hinder your progress for their own benefit has been seen and understood. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, tell your friends about it, and subscribe to receive more inspiring content. While they were enjoying the illusion of security that their plans provided, a higher power was already planning a turning point. Their preoccupation with retaining power made them oblivious to the changing tides, and their so-called influence over your life was only a temporary illusion. Their supposedly indestructible web was crumbling, revealing their motivations and opening the door to your freedom. As the balance of justice subtly but steadily approached, their self-centered plans were doomed to fail. The beauty of divine intervention is how subtle and silent it is, rarely revealing itself. While they continued with their deceptive plans, a greater power was quietly revealing the missing balance. It was about restoring peace, not anger or revenge. The balance of justice inevitably shifts when one person interferes in another's path for personal gain. Without realizing it, their own decisions set off a domino effect that would force them to face the consequences of their behavior. The introduction of a new attraction into their lives, something that touched their vanity and changed their focus, was a crucial moment in this development. Their innermost needs were satiated by this little diversion that gave them the appearance of success and pleasure. It provided a fleeting sense of victory and superiority and was customized to fit their ego. However, they did not realize that this was the secret to your freedom. Once their attention was directed towards this alluring illusion, the bonds they had previously placed around you began to loosen, giving you the freedom they had tried to deny. When they revealed their true selves, it was never just about freeing you. It was also about shedding light on the darkness they were living in. The greater plan was designed to shed light on their character, not just for you, but for all those who were unaware of their purpose. They took great pleasure in thinking that their cunning would keep them safe forever, not realizing that every action they took brought them closer to discovery. They were so sure of their own invincibility that they didn't notice when their meticulously crafted masks began to fall. Write 777 in the comments to raise your energy. By the time they realized the consequences of their deception, the truth was out and they could not stop the truth they had tried to hide. In a bitter irony they never saw coming, their so-called victory turned into their downfall. The tools they used to restrain you have now turned against them and created their own chains. This chain of events was not accidental. On the contrary, it was the result of a purposeful and stubborn justice that knew no room for compromise. Their repentance is filled with a lesson. They must now bear the consequences of their crimes, even while they were still caught up in their own plans. You discovered a freedom that transcends everything they tried to take from you. You once had a subtle but pervasive connection with these people, entangling your energies in ways that were often invisible to the conscious mind. However, this connection is now permanently and completely severed. The connection that allowed them access to your vitality has been severed. So this is no longer a passing sensation, but a tangible reality. This is the last and most important change. They no longer have access to your power and brilliance. Whether you have acted consciously or instinctively, they are caught in a resounding void with the absence of something they had taken for granted before. This distancing marks a significant shift in the balance of power and is more than symbolic. The silent conversation that had nourished their authority and strengthened their egos has abruptly ended. Every conversation, idea, and emotion that previously supported their dominance is gone. Their sense of authority begins to crumble as they are deprived of the lifeblood they so desperately need. Withdrawing your energy is not only a liberating experience for you, it also acts as a catalyst for their carefully crafted facade to crumble, exposing their weakened power. The whole power dynamic has changed. They no longer have the ability to influence your emotions or direct your choices as they used to. Even if babies cannot fully grasp the extent of this shift, they can feel it. Write "I am ready" in the comments section below. indicating that you are ready to take on any task and will welcome any benefits that come your way. Your reactions, once predictable, no longer exist. Words that were once designed to manipulate now fall flat. The regret, duty, or desire they once nourished in you is gone, replaced by a revolutionary clarity. What remains is a newfound freedom that previously seemed unattainable. With the severing of the bond between you, this profound rupture has led to the complete dissolution of their hold over you. At this point, their influence no longer plays a role in your life and marks an important turning point on your path. It is more important to reclaim your power, independence, and peace of mind than to simply let go of what has always been yours. As this shift takes place, you will experience an ever-increasing sense of wholeness and a lightness that was not there before. The burden of their presence has lessened, and in its place is the assurance that you are finally free from their control and fully in touch with your own destiny. This gap has triggered an important cosmic shift. When the energy connection was severed, a global response was triggered, a realignment aimed at justice and balance. The severing of this connection set off a chain reaction where people who used to enjoy dominating and devaluing you now have to deal with the consequences. Their schemes and manipulations, once a source of pride, have come back to haunt them, carrying with them the lessons they worked so hard to avoid. The reckoning has already begun, as the balance of cause and effect holds them responsible for every harm they have caused. The weight of remorse has shattered the illusion of victory they once held. Now they are struggling to fill the void they created by manipulating what they once used for their own benefit. The wheels of justice started turning the moment you took back your independence. Now every dishonest and self-centered behavior they have done reflects back on them relentlessly. They have redirected the energy they previously took from you, intensifying their feelings of loss and revealing the truth they can no longer avoid. Their lives may seem to be falling apart for no apparent reason, but it is only the result of their own decisions. After their actions started an inevitable cycle of events, they now face the same energy they emitted earlier. The righteousness of karma is infallible. It has been waiting for the day when you would reclaim your independence and break the ties that bind you to their power. This power acted decisively, without restraint, and reflected back the damage they had done in a way they could not ignore. Your power is your fire. Are you ready to stand up? Let's ignite greatness together by subscribing today. The weight of their own regrets has replaced the thrill of victory they once displayed. The bitter revelation of their own weakness has replaced what they once thought was power over you. Their reckoning is not about seeking revenge, but about harmonizing those who have been hurt. The balance that was skewed in their favor for so long has been tipped back in their favor, and now they have to answer for their wrongdoings. Whatever their resistance or their attempts to justify their deaths, the truth is inescapable. Their suffering is a reflection of the pain they have caused, a constant reminder of the consequences of their decisions and the freedom you have finally won. You are now free to enter a life full of choices that were previously hidden. As a result of you taking back your authority, their absence makes room for the abundance that will enter your life. The subtle genius of the plan that caused them to lose control is what makes it so elegant. They have been lured by a skillfully placed bait that they were not aware of. They met someone who seemed to represent everything they wanted in life, someone who mirrored their goals, flattered their pride, and seemed to offer them everything they believed they were entitled to. They accepted this illusion without question because they overcame their own arrogance and believed they had won something bigger than you. Instead of being a partner, this person was a mirror that revealed their weaknesses that made their deception possible. They were seduced by a facade that suited their vanity, and they never stopped to consider whether it was real or not. It was an illusion that emphasized their selfishness, not love or devotion. Caught up in their sense of victory, they lost sight of the bigger picture. They were entering a situation that would reveal their true selves. Their deaths resulted from the illusion that had been skillfully constructed to suit their desires. If you are new to our community, please make sure you don't miss any of our daily videos by subscribing, liking, and sharing. If these words have blessed you, please write Amen. Because of their own unbridled greed and dishonesty, they unwittingly set themselves up for the vengeance that was waiting in silence because they thought they had passed you by. Jeremiah 17:9 states, "The heart is deceitful above all things, it has no remedy. Who can understand it?" Picture a potter at his wheel, shaping the clay with every stroke of his hand. If the clay resists, breaks, or hardens in defiance, it moves away from the shape the potter had in mind. Our decisions in life shape us, and when those decisions are motivated by selfishness, fractures begin to appear. The life they believed they controlled, the fiction they created, turned into a vessel incapable of supporting their lies. This new page was a mirror for them, not the freedom they had hoped for. Every action they took brought them closer to conflict rather than freedom. The layers of their illusions peeled back a little more with each passing moment, revealing the cunning and greed they used to control others. They believed they were making progress, but in fact they were going in circles precisely because they were stuck in traits they did not recognize in themselves. Revelation followed. The substitute they had chosen, the one they thought would make them better, was nothing more than a mirror image. It was not a real relationship, but a deceptively veiled lesson. The relationship they imagined was based not on love or respect for each other, but on the same ego and selfishness they had cultivated from the very beginning. What they saw as control over their destiny was only part of a larger plan that was invisible to them. The ultimate weaver, God, was at work the whole time, guiding the threads to reveal the truth. The irony is impossible to deny. They had become pawns in their own game, but they believed they were in control. Your path is now clear while theirs has become a showdown. You have risen above their turmoil, freed from the control they exerted over you. This is your time to rise up, to boldly follow your calling and cast aside the shadows they tried to cast over your life. You don't care whether they dissolve or not. Let this remind you of the power of living in the light of God, the power of truth, and the certainty of justice. Their delusions no longer hold you back. You are free, you are chosen, and you are meant for more. In their pursuit of what they believed to be victory, they had fallen into a painful irony. Their partnership, which they had previously hailed as a triumph, began to disintegrate and show its worst weaknesses. The traits they once admired became unbearable reminders of their own cunning. Every strategy they used against you was reversed so that what had previously seemed like a reward now felt like a punishment. This conflict could not be avoided. They were trapped in a vicious circle of their own making. As the facade they were clinging to collapsed, they were confronted with a harsh, indisputable reality. It was always about them and the decisions that brought them to this point, never about you. As they deal with the consequences of their actions, the reality of their loss is now clear. What they saw as a gift has turned into a curse, a well-planned and precisely delivered lesson. Instead of serving as a refuge, their new connections began to reflect everything they were trying to escape. Deprived of the authority they once thought they had, they are forced to struggle with their own arrogance. Their deep-seated regrets serve as a constant reminder of the games they played and lost. Meanwhile, you are free, free from their control, free to move on, and free to embrace life beyond their shadow. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Imagine a diamond buried under layers of earth with its crushing weight, heat, and pressure. This same force, this constant pressure, is what transforms a rough stone into a brilliant jewel, even when everything seems unbearable. What was once hidden, ignored, or even thrown away becomes a treasure. This is your story. God has used what others intended to shatter you into pieces to transform you into something truly extraordinary. Your power is your fire. Are you ready to stand up? Let's ignite greatness together by subscribing today. They believed they had abandoned you, forgotten you. But while they were busy with their own plans, God was releasing you by changing the invisible pieces. If you are new to our channel, we sincerely welcome you to subscribe and become part of our community of hope. By subscribing, you will join a community that shares inspiration and uplifting messages. Their rejection did not mark the end of your journey, but the beginning of its reorientation. You are now free from their games and perspectives and stand in the light of his plan. What they tried to convince you of no longer defines you. Instead, you have entered a position of strength and clarity. This is your time to boldly enter into the life God has prepared for you from the beginning, a life characterized by His call on your heart rather than their control. Because when He calls you, nothing and no one can stop you. What seemed like a loss was actually God creating space for something greater. You have been chosen, you are free, and you are embarking on a journey far beyond what they can imagine. As your journey continues, the difference between your courses becomes more and more apparent. While your life is evolving, others continue to spin in the same patterns, stuck in the consequences of their own actions. The opportunities and relationships that have been waiting for this time are now coming through the doors they previously blocked. You are no longer burdened by their manipulations. Rather, you stand up and walk freely towards the abundance that is rightfully yours. They will inevitably regret it, but you don't have to put up with it. Every step you take in this new chapter reminds you of the life you have taken back, a life free from their shadow and enlightened by your newfound independence. They didn't realize that they were only paving the way for your metamorphosis, but they felt that their actions guaranteed their success. The freedom you needed to achieve a greater purpose was what they mistakenly believed was control. Now, as you climb out of their reach, they have to deal with the void left behind by their decision. The power they once thought they had over you has been replaced by a divine barrier of protection. You are untouchable and no longer part of their game as you evolve in accordance with your true path. Their desperate and regretful efforts to turn back are helpless in the face of the power you have discovered. Now is your time to stand your ground and resist the forces that used to control you. This concludes this story, a chapter that will never be opened again. Lessons have been learned and karmic ties have been severed. Their struggle to release the energy they can no longer claim is what motivates any attempt they make to go back, not a true transformation. Forgiveness does not involve abandoning the boundaries you have set, and reconciliation is not an option. Rather than having a true awareness of the pain they have experienced, their regret is a result of losing the power they used to have. The door to the past must remain locked because you are now too far out of their grasp. Now is your time to step forward and embrace the future. It is time to completely get rid of the remnants of a dynamic that no longer defines you, that no longer serves you. This is not just saying goodbye to the past. It is also an act of liberating yourself, your energy, and your future. The instruction is clear. You must cut off all contact with their energy to allow them to have a place in your life, whether through their physical presence, their thoughts, or their emotions, is to risk the independence you have gained and the progress you have made. At this point, your commitment to yourself and your loyalty to your own well-being becomes more important than anything else. As you move into this new phase of your life, you cannot let the past hold you back or derail you. Whatever is trying to stop you, draining your energy or disturbing your peace of mind should no longer be part of your journey. Cutting these ties completely means making sure that the shadows of the past have no hold over you. Now is the time to focus on yourself, to support your own inner growth, and to welcome the goals ahead of you. You are now unburdened by the effects of the past, and this is an ideal opportunity to make a fresh start in your life. But in order to fully step into this new chapter, you need to make sure that the door remains firmly closed. Closing this door is not only about severing the link with the past, it is also an act of protecting your own boundaries and priorities. If you believe that love and faith have the capacity to overcome any obstacle, subscribe to the channel and write Amen. This is a period of cleansing and renewal for your soul. Letting go of these energies that have been with you in the past but no longer serve you will bring you lightness both physically and emotionally. This free space you create for yourself creates the groundwork for you to focus on your dreams, goals, and peace of mind. By letting go of the burdens of the past, you can more easily focus on new opportunities, new relationships, and a new purpose in your life. Remember, you are calling new energy, clarity, and power into your life. This means not only letting go of the past, but also stepping into the future on a firmer foundation. Embrace yourself, the values and strengths that make you who you are. Shape your own journey, shine your own light, and leave behind the shadows of the past. A new page is turning, and it is filled with your story and yours alone. Now is the time to write this story with courage and passion. Cutting them off is a powerful step, not only to create a physical distance, but also to regain control and safely maintain your own course. This decision is an expression of recentering yourself and taking a firm grip on the steering wheel of your life. Letting go of their influence not only declares your independence, but also liberates you. As you move into this new world, you will experience a lightness and relaxation deep within your soul that you have not felt for a long time or even realized was possible. This process of liberation brings with it a new awareness of your life. You are creating a space that is yours and yours alone, a space filled with your own energy, hopes, and dreams. The final component of your liberation is the act of completely releasing their energy and letting go of the ties of the past. This is the final step that brings about the complete liberation of your soul, moving you forward. It is now time to shape your own future, free of their burdens. A greater power is always with you, protecting you from their attempts to disturb your peace. This power keeps you away from negative influences and illuminates the path ahead more clearly than ever before. This light shining like a guide in your life is there to lead you to your own truth, your own peace, and your own success. This powerful guidance reminds you that you are not alone and that you are supported every step of the way. Now is the time to move forward courageously towards the life you are destined for. In this new era, you can pursue your own dreams and goals, leaving the traces of the past completely behind. Nothing can hold you back anymore. No ties can limit you. This new page in your life is ready for you to write your own story. Recognize your own power and incorporate this power into your life, becoming stronger with every step. There is a path ahead of you that belongs only to you. This path is full of greatness, happiness, and freedom. Believe in yourself, trust in guidance, and courageously embrace this new world that is presented to you. When your liberation is complete, you will not only experience a transformation, you will also experience the lightness of your spirit, the purity of your energy, and the limitlessness of your potential. Now that they are free and independent, their regrets and burdens are theirs alone, not yours. Their path is shaped by their choices, and you, completely free of these burdens, focus on your own journey. You move forward knowing that the future that awaits you is full of gifts, infinite possibilities, and a bright light, always designed for you. Past challenges have shaped you but never defined you. Now is the time to accept that this period has strengthened you and that the path ahead is yours and yours alone. The last days of November symbolize the closing of an era in your life. The last vestiges of deception, control, and manipulation disappear, giving way to clarity, freedom, and rebirth. December opens the doors to a powerful change both within you and in your external world. This is not just a month, but the beginning of a new era. The old games are over, and it is time to face the inevitable consequences of the actions of those who have tried to hold you back. Instead of harming you, their efforts have made you more resilient, stronger, and more conscious. If you find peace in this message, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share it with others. Also, remember to ring the bell symbol to keep receiving our instructions. Now you can move forward knowing that you are safe on your path and destined for greatness, success, and happiness. The universe has made a plan for you, and that plan is full of gifts specifically designed just for you. With the lightness of leaving the weights of the past behind, it is time to take firm steps forward into the future. Trust in yourself. This journey is here for you to grow, strengthen, and realize your highest potential. December will make you feel the power of change and ignite the energy of rebirth within you. A new chapter of your life begins, and it is full of beauty you could never have imagined before. You are now completely free from the ties that have been holding you back. There is a clear, unobstructed path ahead of you, and it shines brightly just for you. Move forward on this path by believing in yourself, leaving the past behind and embracing the future. Remember, now is the time to recognize the power you have and incorporate that power into your life. Your journey belongs only to you, and there is greatness, happiness, and peace on this path. Life is looking forward to presenting you with its most beautiful surprises. Now go ahead with renewed faith in yourself and your potential. Everything is lining up for you exactly as it should be. You are in a period when their attempts at manipulation have backfired, and the light of truth is shining brighter than ever. Their control games have lost their effectiveness, and now those who cannot cope with this realization are facing sadness and confusion. But you stand on the threshold of a new era, breaking your chains and leaving your burdens behind. This new era offers you a sea of opportunities to rediscover yourself and realize your full potential. December heralds a profound change in your life, gifts that become accessible, luck knocking at your door, and deep relationships that touch your soul invites you into a whole new chapter. This is not only a beginning, but also a time to realize the limitless potential the universe has to offer. When you remember and embrace your own power, the obstacles of the past will be erased one by one, and a clear path will appear before you. This path is designed just for you and only for you. The time for waiting is over. It is time to take action to awaken your potential, take firm steps towards your dreams, and unleash the power within you. Be the architect of your own transformation. Each stage of this process will lead you to a stronger, freer, and happier version of yourself. You can accelerate your transformation by stepping into this important period of your life with us. Momentum is shifting in your favor, and the universe is ready to generously offer you its gifts. It's time to use your power to step into the life you have always deserved. You are not alone on this journey. Guidance and support will be with you every step of the way. Come on, embrace change and start rewriting your destiny. Those who previously tried to direct your path are now watching their own paths fall apart as a result of the decisions they made. Now that the roles are reversed, you can claim abundance. Now is your time to soar, unhindered and full of purpose, as the future embraces you with open arms. We have come to the end of this video. If you found value in this message, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us reach more people and spread this empowering message. Join our community, and let's continue this journey together. See you in our next video. Goodbye.